With the risk of sounding redundant, I just wanted to sort of state these concepts in a different way. So one big concept in dog training is something called differential reinforcement. And differential reinforcement is basically a fancy way of saying that we're going to focus on reinforcing one behavior that's incompatible with a behavior that we don't like. So as an example, if I don't like my dog jumping on me, if I reinforce them for sitting in front of me, they can't sit in front of me and jump on me at the exact same time. So by creating a pattern of behavior where they are more likely to sit, they're becoming less likely to jump. So a huge part of what we're doing through adding more structure to our dog's day is actually just differential reinforcement. And I touched on this a little bit in the previous video, but I just wanted to repackage the information just to make sure that you're thinking about this stuff in the right way. So if our dogs normally get aggressive and bark and lunge at the front door, rather than focusing on again, punishment for that behavior, let's focus on reinforcement for an alternative behavior that we like. And that's often the first step before we try and go toe-to-toe with the unwanted behaviors. We always want to create an alternative and reinforce those alternatives first. Even if I am going to have to jump into a more direct behavior change program, which would be the next phase moving forward, and we're going to have some courses dealing with some of the common behavior problems, all of those behavior change programs are going to be more effective if we've already established some positive alternatives to fall back on. So for instance, if I've already taught my dog that I really like it when they lay on their dog bed when the doorbell rings, and if I've already heavily reinforced that behavior, then later on, when the doorbell rings, if my dog decides to charge the door and I punish him for that, it's far more likely that I'm only going to have to punish them once or twice if I've already established that alternative. If I have not established that alternative, it's very likely that I'm going to have to use a lot more severe of punishment, and B, I'm going to have to punish more frequently and over a longer duration of time. So this concept of differential reinforcement is key to a lot of our behavior change programs, and it's one of the main reasons that we want to make sure that we get this solid obedience program in place first. And now that you guys have these commands, if you're dealing with behavior problems, I want you to think about what alternatives you can start reinforcing instead of those behavior problems. Again, a lot of this stuff is simple. If your dog steals food off the counter, then practice having food on the counter and having your dog do a place command and reward them for being in place command. If your dog chases the children around the house when they're playing, then make sure your dog is in a downstay or a place while your children are playing. There's no need for a dog, especially a medium to large size dog, to be chasing children around the house. So let's reward them for laying down. Let's reward them for being calm and make them feel good about that behavior. Because if they're laying on their dog bed, they can't also be chasing the kids. And if we reinforce that behavior enough, we can really reduce or oftentimes eliminate the unwanted behaviors without ever having to directly address them. And that's the power of differential reinforcement.